Good morning, everyone. My name's Lauren. I'm the dyer behind lolodidit, and you are watching the third episode of this podcast that I started 3 weeks ago, which is kind of crazy. I've gotten so much amazing feedback, so I just wanted to stop and say thank you so much for watching, for coming back, for asking for more, and asking me questions as well. It's things that I didn't even know you guys were curious about, so that's pretty cool. So I'm just going to dive right in. I've put a ton of stuff on the shop this week, so I wanted to show you guys everything that has been going on. The first thing is we've got 2 new yarn bases. The first one, I have had so many people asking me, Lauren, have you found a new sparkle sock yet? So I have. I found a new sparkle sock. We tested it. The sparkle is a lot sparklier than it was before. It feels great. It's so soft. It knits up really nicely. I think you guys are going to be really, really happy with it. I, of course, had to go ahead and test it out myself. So I knit up Beetlejuice. Can you see the sparkle in that? I think you can. This is Beetlejuice. Oh my gosh, yeah, you really can. I'm trying to catch the light here. This is the Beetlejuice colorway. That's the main colorway. And then the toes and heels are Wonka. This is available on my shop right now. I do have some left. It is retired for the season, so I won't be dyeing anymore, but there are a few left, and I did put a couple on Sparkle Up, so thought you guys would like that. I, of course, had to dye more so that we had sparkle on some Halloween colorways. So this is fantastic. I posted this a couple days ago on Instagram, and a lot of people asked me what's going on with your heel. So this is a mistake that I just decided to roll with, because why not, right? I, as you guys get to know me a little bit better, I'm not a perfectionist knitter. If something happens, I make a mistake, it's not easily fixable, or it's not something that I can tink back a little bit and just make it work. I kind of go with the mistakes, I'm not gonna lie. So what happened here was I switched my colors too early. I wanted to do just some plain stockinette on the back of the heel before I went into the heel itself, and I accidentally switched colors during those 5 rows of the plain stockinette. So I ended up doing all the way around for those 5 rows, then did the heel, and then because I liked the effect, I did 2 more rounds to make it kind of a really nice wide stripe here, and then continued. So that's what happened. This is a 5x1 rib, and I love it. I will definitely be knitting. I still have second sock syndrome, but I'll knit the second sock soon, I hope, because I just like seeing the colorways knit up. I just wanted to see what it looks like. So this was knit on my circular sock machine. It takes me about an hour to knit 1 sock, about 2.5 to knit 2, just because you have to redo you have to reset it all up, which is really nice because I don't get a lot of knitting time, and it's really awesome to see what the colorways would look like knit up. So I'm really having a lot of fun with that. Last week I had a couple of questions on the YouTube comments and also private messages through Instagram asking me what the heck is going on back here. I've got socks. Why are they there? Well, they're switched all the time because they are first single socks that don't have mates or are not gonna get mates. And the 2 examples were the ones that I had the most questions on what the colorways are, is this one, which is I Love Rock and Roll, is the main colorway, which is available on my shop, and the heels and toe stripe is How I Feel Good, which is tonal color, available on my shop. This one is not going to get a mate because I was messing around with sizing on this sock, and I did a rib here where the arch is supposed to be, and it doesn't fit me at all. But it was really too pretty of a sock to get rid of. So this one has literally been hanging on my wall since I Love Rock and Roll came out. So that's been well over a year ago that I released this colorway. So that's how long this has been on my wall. It's never going to not be on my wall because it's never going to get a mate. But I might knit a pair of socks just like this, just that actually fit instead of with this ribbing. I don't know what I was thinking. I was messing around, trying new things. The sock architecture book, I've probably knit all of the heels and toes in there because I like trying it. This one actually reminds me of the bootstrap one. I don't know if you guys have that book, but it's fantastic. I love it. The other one that doesn't have a mate is this one. This is Honeydukes as the main color and Beauty School Dropout as the all of the accents. I love this. This sock doesn't have a mate because I literally haven't cast on the second one. So, but it will eventually have a mate. But here's the thing. I just love it hanging up on my wall. Every time I walk into my craft room, I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. I love it. So it's kind of like I've made my colorways or socks or whatever into my artwork that's going on in my craft room. But these are Honeydukes. Will be back out in a couple weeks. I think I'm out of stock right now. But these will be available and you'll probably see them back on my wall. All the rest of those that are hanging up there, they have mates in progress. I just haven't finished. But that's all my socks. I mean, I have, I don't know, 10 maybe on the needles. And I'll just switch up the socks as I go along. So anyways, thank you guys for your questions. I appreciated that. That was kind of cool that you guys noticed that I use my single socks as artwork. So to go back to what's going on, let me grab some yarn so I can show you guys what else I've got on the shop. The other yarn base that I released that's back, I had it for the holidays last year and I'm going to continue doing it for the holidays this year, is my Dreamy base. This is fantastic. I wish you had Feel-O-Vision. This is merino cashmere silk fingering weight, and it's a 3-ply, so it's really, when you stitch it up, it's a really pretty stitch. It is the softest, most beautiful. The drape is just amazing, and it's got a really nice sheen because of the silk. This I put on my shop on, I think, 5 different colorways that I had just recently dyed. As soon as I got it in, I started dyeing it in my regular rotation, and you'll see it on my holiday colors next week. I will have it available on all of my Christmas colorways that are coming out, and then you'll see me rotate it into our regular stuff. So this is Dreamy. If you haven't tried a merino cashmere silk yarn yet, you have to. It's gorgeous. So that's what this is. The other luxurious yarn that I have on my shop is my Baby Got Yak base. This is a merino yak silk. It's really similar to a merino cashmere silk, but I think it's even glossier, it's even softer. I really love this. This is my Holly Jolly colorway on Baby Got Yak, and it's got a really nice nutty brown gray base, so everything just really looks really rich. The colors look really rich on it, so I'm really happy with how this turned out. So I've put a whole bunch of this on the shop. This is Holly Jolly. I know I put Blackberry Jam on it. I'll talk a little bit more about this in a sec. I put Indian Summer, which is one that I did this during the fall, but I thought this was such a pretty holiday colorway. I put 3 of these on the shop. And this is Baby Got Yak again. So it's fantastic. You have to try knitting with it. I swear, if they're not gone by the end of the weekend, I'm gonna have to steal Escape for myself. I really want some yak socks, because I can't imagine. They're just gonna be so beautiful. So I need to make sure that I knit some this holiday season for myself. Some other stuff we put on the shop that was restocked are a whole bunch of my tonal colors. These are all of our Christmas colors. We've restocked these on Everyday Sock, Plush Sock, and Lolo's Favorite. And all of the little Lolos, of course, which is Everyday Sock, just 20 grams instead of 100. So this is Fame, Yeti. This is a really, really light brown. Shamrock, Sriracha. Ooh, look at how pretty that is. And blue suede shoes. So these are all of a lot of the holiday colors that will match all of the other colors, because I really like it when, I mean, just when you see the pop of color with all the speckles, I think it just really ties in a project together. So that's why I always make sure we have these, always make sure they're ready to ship. So you guys, when you're working on your projects, you're trying to think of something, you have something to go with it. Even if you don't have it right now in your stash, this is something that you can get pretty darn quickly. For tonal colors on our different bases, they ship within 9 business days. So it's a really fast turnaround time. We're really trying to make sure that it's pretty fast. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is Walkers in Blood. Yes. This is on my plush sock. I think I'm going to keep it on plush sock and make myself a pair of socks on these. Plush sock is my go-to base for any of my socks. I always knit them on plush sock. I very rarely knit them on anything else. But this Walkers in Blood set is dyed to order. You pick your yarn base, and the last day to get it is this Sunday. So Sunday, October 22nd, because that's the season premiere of The Walking Dead. And it will be shipped to you. I think my ship date is November 3rd. We're kind of getting ahead of what that is, so that's really good. I've shipped everything between the 6th, that was ordered between the 6th and the 9th, so everybody should be getting their packages really, really soon. This is fantastic. I love this colorway. I'm so glad I changed it up. I was doing Zombies in Blood, and I was like, oh, we need something darker. So that's where this came from. I have a couple of other colorways for holidays that I wanted to show you. This is Holly Jolly. I didn't do this colorway last year. I did it the year before, and I believe the year before that. Holly Jolly. It is, to me, it is Christmas tree colors. These are the colors that I remember, you know, when we go out to, I think I said this before, I grew up outside of Chicago, so anytime we went downtown, went to Marshall Field, we saw the Christmas tree, these are all the colors that were there, all the colors in the windows, and I really love these. So this is Holly Jolly, and the other one, this is another one. I have done this colorway every single year. This is Cornucopia. And it is directly inspired by, we used to live in the mountains of North Carolina, about an hour north of Asheville. And this is directly those colors from the mountains when all the colors change. It was just gorgeous. We loved living there. Kind of miss living there. Miss our chickens. But this is Cornucopia, and I had released this a few falls ago when we were living in the mountains, and I can't not bring it back. It's beautiful. So I hope you guys like it too. That one's available. And then I mentioned this earlier, but Blackberry Jam is available. This is totally a unicorn on the shop. I don't dye it very often. It's one of those that has so many layers of color in there. Can you see that? All these layers of color. So it's really dye intensive. It's a lot of work to make this colorway. So I don't put it on the shop very often. I don't dye it very often, but I always try to make sure that I have some available during the holiday season. This one's actually on my yak base. This one is on Dreamy. See how it's a little lighter. The yak is darker because it has that nutty brown base. And then I love this. This is what it looks like on Sparkle. I mean, do you see those sparkles? Totally pops. And some of the sparkles, because this is such an intensely dark color, the sparkle has taken on this like pinky maroony tone. It's fantastic. So if you can get your hands on a skein of this, even if you're not going to knit it this year, I'm telling you, stash it, because I only dye it 1 or 2 times a year. I do have some in my stash right there. I have 2 skeins of it. I hoarded it myself. That one's from last year though. So all of these are for you guys. I didn't steal any this year. So that's Blackberry Jam. That one's also on the shop. I'll show off my sparkle sock again, just on a different color. Look at that. You guys, I can't tell you how much work I've put into finding a sparkle, so I hope you love it as much as I do. This one's Keep Pounding, this colorway, and I know I have several on the shop. This is for the Panthers, but I mean, so many people have freaked out over this blue, so I have dyed it on almost all of my bases, so fantastic. I'm so happy with the sparkle sock. You don't even know. I was struggling with it. Struggling to find somebody who carried a sparkle that was really, really sparkly, because my old one was it was very subtle. I liked it, but a lot of people were like, Lauren, where's the sparkle? So it's back, it's here. This is Pretty Little Zombies. I also stocked this week, Pretty Little Zombies, and it is available on Sparkle too. It's so hard to resist keeping all the yarn for myself. It really is. I mean, this is my stash. You see it. It's not a ton of yarn. I want to keep it all. So that's what Pretty Little Zombies looks like. And I also stocked up Steel Magnolias, which I know this is a huge fan favorite. Pretty Little Zombies and Steel Magnolias is just 2 of those colors that I can't keep on the shop often enough. Every time I dye it, I'm dyeing so many just because everybody wants it for their projects or in their stash. So Steel Magnolias, beautiful. And I do have some of this on Dreamy as well. Same thing with Pretty Little Zombies. I did stock it on Dreamy, so it's beautiful. Let's see, what else do I have here? I stocked Tin Roof Rusted. I love this. It's so neutral. I know you see these large swatches of green and gold and red, but really once you knit it up, it's so tonal and subtle. I love it. So that one's also on the shop. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, now that I've gotten through all of the stuff that's on the shop, the last thing I wanted to tell you guys is we are going to be in the yarn shop Do You Knit. If you live in that area, they've got a whole bunch on their way. I was going to talk about it last week, but I realized that they're not going to have it yet. So I think they should be getting it either this weekend or maybe Monday and Tuesday. So I don't know how fast they'll put it on the floor. But they got everything, all of my super popular colorways, everything that you guys absolutely love, you die for. They got all of those colors. I sent them 15 colorways, and all on my solo base, which is, you guys are loving this. It's so soft and squishy, and it's got such a great texture, and it eats up that dye. I mean, it really just, it makes everything pop. So I'm really loving this yarn base. I know you guys are too, so I appreciate that. But that's the yarn base they picked. If you're in the area, you gotta go check them out. Plus, they're really, really funny. The reason why we met, Karen, or I think she likes to be called K-Boss, she messaged me during all of the Hurricane Harvey stuff. A lot of you said that you found my stuff on Instagram and all of the fundraising through her repost, which was really nice. I mean, it really meant a lot to me. And for her to repost it meant a lot to me. A lot of other makers got involved. But from there, we started talking and chit-chatting and figuring out, and she's like, hey, I want you in my store. And so I, of course, had to say yes. So here you go. These are some colors. This is Scrunchies and Spandex, which is directly from 80s inspired attire. This one is Dothraki, which is a Game of Thrones reference. And this one is BBSLN, which is a Walking Dead reference. It's a quote from Negan, if you know who Negan is. So. Anyways, that's what's going. Those are just 3 colors that are going to our shop, but I had to show it off. I think you guys are going to be really excited with what you see. And I hope that they freak out when they open the package, so I can't wait for that. So I hope you guys love it as well. So that's all I've got for you. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for checking out my podcast. Thank you for asking me questions. Thank you for all of the support and love that you guys have been giving me. We appreciate it a lot, and I'm so happy that the holiday season is upon us, so you guys can see all of the Christmas colorways. This isn't it. This isn't everything. We've got a bunch more colorways coming out. Next week, I think you'll be seeing 3 new Christmas colorways. So just keep an eye out. I always update the shop as we get them ready. So as I put them on the shop, I'm putting those to the top of the page. So just keep on checking back, because I don't have a schedule. We don't have shop updates. So as you check back the website, you'll see new things at the top all the time, and those are things that I've just restocked, either with everything, like they were out of stock, they're a new colorway, or I put a new yarn base on there, because we're getting a couple of new yarn bases in. I want to make sure to stock our popular stuff as quickly as possible. So you'll see those pop to the top. When you see that, that means it's been restocked. And then I have been summarizing newsletters and summarizing this podcast with what I have updated all week. So by the time you read that newsletter, but by the time you watch this podcast, all of it should have been on the shop for at a minimum of 24 hours. So I hope that helps you. I hope it relieves your stress, but I also hope it helps you understand how my shop works, so you can shop a little bit easier. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing weekend.